Welcome back to this room, which is arguably the most important room in this whole venue for the next few hours. I hope you enjoyed your networking break. I hope you had a chance to talk to your peers, to meet people, to grab a coffee. And now we are back to our great stage programming, and we will start this block from a panel discussion on the air defense stack. So the war in Ukraine, if anything, has absolutely upended everything really we know about air defense stack. What works, what doesn't work, and how to actually protect the skies effectively without also spending the entire country's budget for that. And this next panel explores the emerging air defense stack across three critical layers, that is production, sensing, and interception. And it is not just about drones either, but there is a bigger picture to it that the panelists will also be outlining and sharing with everyone present in this room. Please take your seats as you're still coming in. And I am very happy to invite our panelists on stage. Please welcome first Oleksandr Yakovenko, the founder of TAF Industries. TAF is one of Ukraine's largest producers of FPV kamikaze drones, of reconnaissance UAVs, and electronic warfare systems. Also, Oleksandr is the founder of Innovation Hub, and that is a private defense tech cluster that brings together engineers, military units, and investors. Next up, Karl Rosander, a Swedish serial entrepreneur and co-founder and CEO of Nordic Air Defence, and that is a company that's committed to providing homegrown, cutting-edge drone defense technology. Thank you. Thank you for the applause in the front. Then we have Jaanus Tamm, the CEO at Defsecintel Solutions, an expert in defense and security technologies and tactics in Europe. He has an immense experience across the resilience industries, and he has worked in the fields of defense, AI, surveillance technology, and counter-UAV. And to moderate this great gentleman discussing the air defense stack is Jeremy Teboul, partner at OTB Ventures. He backs early growth companies in physical AI, in space tech, in defense, and in cybersecurity. Before joining OTB, he was also a partner at Promus Ventures and led deep tech investments across Europe and the US through the Orbital Fund, which was the largest early-stage fund dedicated to space tech in the European Union. Please give a warm round of applause to this amazing panel and enjoy the conversation.
All right, well, thanks so much for having us. So as you know, with the war in Ukraine, everything that's going on in Iran and Israel, the 2025 drone incursion, air defense has been at a central topic for European defense. It's actually been the most discussed capability gap in Europe today. And the economics are completely upside down. $500 drones being shot down by $1 million systems. This doesn't make sense. And the answer is not a single product, but it's a whole stack. Let's open this panel by having maybe each of you tell us a bit more about what your company does and where you sit within this stack. Let's start with you, Oleksandr.
Hi, my name is Oleksandr Yakovenko. I am founder of TAF Industries. It's rather a young company because actually we established it in the late of 2023, but in 2025 we've got more than $500 million of revenue. Our product portfolio is like small strike drones, interceptors drones, electronic warfare systems, deep strike drones right now. Thanks.
Karl?
Karl Rosander, entrepreneur and CEO of Nordic Air Defence. And what we do the effector layer. And we industrialize and prepare for what NATO don't have and Europe don't have, to be able to scale and rapidly integrate new types of effectors to meet all the layers and the change that needs to be rapid.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Jaanus. I'm from Estonia, representing company Defsecintel Solutions. And what we do, we build Baltic drone wall and inviting all the eastern flank countries to join it. What our company does is that we integrate all the effectors, sensors, other subsystem into one turnkey solution, so that when the soldiers going into the border or in the field and they need to detect or track or intercept the drones, they just switch on the system and they can do it as automated way as possible. That's what we provide, and we are already doing it in Estonia. We have also delivered years ago first counter-UAS systems to Ukraine. So we have Ukraine experiences, but mainly we do right now it in Europe and in Baltic states.
So I want to dive into what's actually new right now in air defense. So let's start with you, Oleksandr. So you know, you're the closest to the actual fight in Ukraine, and if you had to name one thing about air defense that really has, you know, changed about the threat over the past, you know, 12, 18 months, what would you say that it is, and what do Europeans need to understand about how to deal with it?
Yeah, actually, each 2 weeks, approximately, I'm on the front line to take the feedback about the battlefield, about our products, which should interact on the front line. What I would like to say, first of all, Russian war against Ukraine totally rewriting the air defense system. What does it mean? That previously it was missiles against missiles, that's all. Right now, we've got rather complicated system because it's very important to calculate the economic units. As we call it, cost per kill. We can't use very expensive system like Patriots against the Shahed drones. The Gulf countries shows us that the situation which happened between Iran and the United States, it's about the economy. We need to calculate the price of each product. Previously, defense system doesn't work like this. Right now, we have the Ukrainian experience. Ukrainian experience said us that we do not have, unfortunately, enough amount of money to use the products without thinking what we do. We need to calculate everything. That's why, for example, right now, we destroyed approximately 65% of Shahed drones by the drone interceptors. It's the last statistics from the March of 2026. Year ago, it was only 10%. We understood that our products, which cost approximately $5,000, destroyed the Shahed drones, which cost approximately $50,000. But the situation changed rapidly. What does it mean? I think in 2-3 months, our enemy mostly will use jet engines Shahed drones. That's why we need to have the quick adaptation for the modern warfare system. We understood that the speed of innovation is critical. We do not have enough time to think a lot about the, certification of the products. The scale of innovation and the cycle of innovation in Ukraine approximately 3-4 months, which we produce in the beginning of this year, is irrelevant on the front line right now. This is the main point, is the speed, is the production capability to do a lot, and it's unit economy and the cost per kill.
Thanks. And Karl, I guess, do you agree with this? And from where you sit on the interceptor side, has anything changed, or has the profile of the threats changed over the past 12 months from your perspective?
Maybe, yes, definitely. And to the thing Oleksandr said, we also get a lot of data. We now have opened the Nordic Air Defence in Ukraine to be able to be there and iterate fast. And numbers, 65%. I also got some data that now, but it's mostly FPV drones, quadcopters, that takes them down by not actually soldiers. They are drone pilots, very educated technologists.
Of course.
And in Europe, we are not prepared for that. So they started to, correct me if I'm wrong now, but this is data I got last week, go with the Shahed when it's cloudy. So they go into the clouds. That's when the FPV drones, the quadcopters, they can't any longer hit the Shaheds. So that's why autonomous systems are very, very important to build. And to your cost point, also, it's not, as all of us know, to shoot AMRAAMs or some TEED. So you have to build autonomous cost-effective systems. On the lower, $2,500, $3,000 dollars per interceptor. So also with that said, look at NATO, what we have here in Europe. The NATO exercise, Hedgehog, showed that a few drone operators took out 2 battalions of NATO soldiers and a scary amount of vehicles as well. So we have to change this rapidly.
Exactly. And Jaanus, maybe to get your perspective as well from the sensing side, what are you now detecting routinely that perhaps wasn't the case 2 or 3 years ago?
I think one of the new thing what we are seeing right now is we also have actually office in a factory in Ukraine since 2022, but we do more like metal kind of platform stuff there. But what we see very much is that automation is required and expected, so that also the pilots who are flying with FPV drones or interceptors, you know, if you have to search the target very long, then you will get tired. So the soldiers' expectation is automation, so that you can detect automatically, track automatically, and then engage as automatically as possible. In Europe, we see also that they want even more automation. They basically want to only press buttons. They most likely don't have expectation or experience from the battlefield, but that's what their expectation. So it means that all the sensors what you have, you can plug in. Whatever new is coming, we don't know what's coming new, like after 2, 3, 4, 6 months, but we must be able to plug it in very fast, like Ukrainians are doing already on the battlefield. Same with an interceptors. Now, there are one type of interceptors, but after 3 months, you need to have another type of ones, like Oleksandr said, that there are jet engines ahead coming. So you need to integrate your detection and tracking system with an interceptor, which can actually take down these fast ones. And that's going, the pace is going faster and faster and faster. So it means that all the integration part for the turnkey solutions getting more and more important. And we have already testing it in Estonia, in exercises. I know Ukrainians also doing it. And everybody expecting the increase of automation as much as possible. Battlefield, there are much more constraints, and you can't do it always like fully automated way, but at least the expectation is there that you should do it. And as an Estonian, I have to comment about the Hedgehog exercise. It was done by purpose to show that how much we actually don't know about the drones. So it had to be as a shock. It was shock. Now everybody realized that, oh my God, we have to deal with that. And now they started to deal that. So it was all like expected outcome to just prove everybody that we are not prepared yet. And now we are preparing. As you know, Estonia transferred or allocated €500 million for counter-drone and this kind of capabilities, related situation awareness capabilities. So we are taking the lessons, and we at least the government plans to move as very fast and show examples to other countries that counter-drone is very important topic, especially when you're on the eastern flank. Most likely these things coming first there.
So let's maybe shift gear a little bit and go to your points, Oleksandr, from the intro around production and cost, right? So as you know, in defense, you know, it's all about the unit economics, and Ukraine, you know, has scaled production, you know, faster than any other country in modern memory, right? So what's the lesson you could give to Europe, and what is still missing in terms of production? Is it the supply chain? Is it about the factory or the procurement cycle? Or is it just the mindset that needs to change?
First point that we learned, it's not about how much products did you have in the stock. It's your production capability. How long does it take to scale your production facilities? Even in Ukraine, we spent at least 3-6 months to scale our production sites. In Europe, I think it could be at least 2 years, especially if it's a new product. Right now, we established our first JV, which will produce the interceptors with a German-based company in Frankfurt. And even now, I understood that some kind of bureaucracy. Our first product will launch, I think it lasts at least in 9 months. In Ukraine, I could do it in 3 months. It's one point. Second point, it's about the innovation cycle. Europe needs to update their policy. What does it mean? Each 3 months, we do new interaction of our products. It means that from the technical specification, it's a little bit another product, new generation. For certification, we need 1 week. In Europe, we will need at least 3 months. We do not have so many times to have to certificate these products. That's why the first point, to simplify the bureaucracy issue, especially for the low-tech interceptors, FPV interceptors, fixed-wing interceptors. It's not jets or like Patriots. It's relevant, low-tech, simple products. And for such kind of products, NATO system of procurement have to have separate pipeline, more simple. It's the first issue. The second one is the production capability. My personal opinion that the Ukrainian company do not want to have the direct export from Ukraine. We do not need it. We need to have joint venture co-production because in Ukraine we've got relevant experience, battlefield experience, technology that we know how to implement to the ecosystem. In Europe, it's like great production facilities that we could scale together, great engineers, and a deep tech. Because, be honest with you, we do not have some strong technology. We are not like, we do not have SAP, we do not have such kind of companies. That's why we need to develop it together because each of us have got the strong side in some meaning. And the last one, we need to build like 3 layers of air defense protection. It's like detect. We do not say a lot of the radar system, acoustic system, optical visual system. We need to interact throughout the border and throughout all European Union countries because as we could see, right now we need to protect not only airfields or military base, we need to protect also the civilian infrastructure. That's why it's much more complicated. It's the fourth thing. The second one, detect. As my colleagues say, AI system. It's very important. In one hand, it's very important. In another hand, according to the international law, it's forbidden to use autonomous system. Every defect should be approved by the person. It's impossible to destroy the target without the approval from the soldier. That's why it's also additional point that we have to discuss. And the last one, defeat. We can't use the Patriots, IRST to destroy the Shaheds. We need to use low-cost interceptor systems, maybe some laser systems, but of course not the missiles. And all of these need to implement by the new strategy, by the new military doctrine. Thanks.
So I want to get someone's reaction. Maybe Jaanus, do you want to react to this? Like obviously, sensors. They used to be, the expensive parts. Is this still true today? And or is the cost story, flipping on this side?
Yeah, I wanna comment. Oleksandr comment that for the production scaling, the one thing what most likely maybe we don't understand so much in Europe is that military products you can't buy from the shelf. So it's not like a Bauhaus you're going and you're buying. Like somebody bought it, somebody built it that for the warehouse 3 months ago. No, you develop it and manufacture it based on the demand. And if Europe don't order then there never be the industry capacity for that. So you need to place orders, then you need to use them, test them for Ukraine or for European needs, but that's the only way how you can build the capacity. And that's the only way how you can build the subsystems, subcomponents, magnets, engines, all kind of things, only when you order. Because we are private companies, you know, how we will fund it, you know, we have to pay salaries and all these kind of things. Without orders, we can't do it. So that's like one big shift what maybe the government should think about it, that to get the industrial capacity, you need order. You need order everybody's, you know, products, build up the capabilities, detection, and then the cost will come down, and then you have a capacity and knowledge and industry for that. But the pricing, it's the same thing, you know. We all know the economics, you know. The more you manufacture, the more the price goes down. Same time, innovation. So Ukrainians have already demonstrated that everything doesn't have to be green, certified 9 months, tested in what kind of chambers and stuff. Good, okay, today is better than super good, expensive one after 12 months. So that's also what I think we need to think or rethink or reevaluate about that. And sensing part is also, there are lots of innovation coming out from different sensors. And there are great ideas in Europe how to do things better, but without scale of economics, the price will not go down. And we still have too much this mentality that let's make very expensive, very sophisticated, very good, high-end quality things, but few of them. Not just a little bit lower, but lots of them. So this is a shift maybe we need to think about it.
Completely agree, and maybe to close the loop on this topic, you know, Karl. So how do you get below the cost of the fret, you know, without giving up on the performance? And maybe you can tell us more about how you see this production aspect at Nordic Air Defence.
Yes, I need to comment there on Oleksandr too. That Europe don't have a innovation problem, we have an integration problem. Procurement circles needs to change rapidly. And now we have a chance to build up companies that can produce faster, iterate faster, and that's what it's about. The cost perspective, and to the point there, Jaanus, when we order thermal cameras, we need to do an order of $10 million, and they start to come in a 12 months. So you have to front load to order components by mass to be able to deliver on the demand. So with components, we can buy from China, we can buy from the US, but there are lack of sensor companies that, Europe is non-reliant of Chinese and American components. We know the magnets, but...
There are 3 companies in the world who grow this thermal sensor ingredients. 3. So, and now they are overloaded. And another funny thing that if clients will ask me a question that how much money you can manufacture, or if they ask from you, you know the answer is we manufacture all of it, what you need. You just need to bring it in. The same like you. I'm sure that when government come to you and said, we need this amount, you said, no problem, we do it. Just place it in.
So if I may jump in, so obviously, you know, production is a key aspect, but testing, you know, is also part of that, of getting that system up and running. So maybe Oleksandr, would love to get your point of view here. So when a system arrives, you know, at the front line from a Western lab, or even, you know, from where you test it, you know, in Ukraine, what fails that the lab just hasn't caught before? Like, what can you tell us about how you get to that, you know, 65% rate that you described?
Okay, I would like some points for the last question because it's very important. We need to be open-minded to change the procurement system in the whole, not only in Ukraine, but in Europe also, because there could be a different kind of the pipelines. For example, subscription system. When you buy 10,000 drones and year by year, there is like a subscription to update it according to the modern warfare system. It's the first one. The second one is the production capability. We discuss with one Nordic countries, I will not say because it's like under NDA, with MOD, that yes, it's possible to have such kind of system when we pay the constant price to have at some level the production capability. We do not produce, but in 2-3 months we could produce 10,000 interceptor drones. And it's also one kind of the like a pipeline which could be. About your questions. Yes, we received a lot of different kind of products. We test a lot of them and we try to understand how increase the efficiency rate. Our enemy are very flexible. Each 3 months, for example, Shahed drones are changing, and it changed very quickly. When we say Shahed drones, which was based from Iran, I know, 5, 7, 10 years ago, right now it's a totally another kind of drones. There is nothing that it was 3, 4 years ago. It got a lot of kind of protection system. It's very complicated to destroy it by the drones. Also, they've got like a lot of kind of system, including, for example, Starlink. Only 2-3 months ago, the Starlink was blocked on the Ukrainian territory for the enemy's products. That's why, of course, we need to update the products very quickly because the efficiency rate in 1-3 months always go lower and lower if we do not have any updating. And of course the AI system. Right now our drones have got auto navigation by the AI system, and it's increased the efficiency rate approximately on 20-25%.
That's great. I think we are running out of time for our panel, but I do want to ask you, one last small question. So please, if you could reply in one sentence, what do you think is not getting enough attention in air defense today, whether it's in Ukraine or in your home countries?
Start with me
Yeah.
again. First of all, it's the interaction between the detect, decide, and defeat. Because in Ukraine right now, we scale very quickly, and we've got a lot of military units, and each of these military units has their own strategy how to do it. It's the first one. The second one, we've got a lot of kind of the interceptors, drones. We've got a lot of kind of interceptors equipment, and of course, the cooperation between all of these are very complicated. We need to implement the system, AI system, to do it more effective because, as I said previously, cost per kill and unit economy for Ukraine right now is crucial.
Karl, in one sentence, what's not getting enough attention in air defense today?
Okay. We need to have manufacturing and think it's wartime. You have to have your product, but it also has to be fast to iterate, fast to produce, test, go back. So the conclusion of this is actually what we three are doing. We have a great partnership here. And to be able to produce cost-effective, scalable air defense.
Jaanus, anything to add?
The counter-drone system or the capability is a system of systems. There are many things in, and there must be very things integrated. And there are already many existing technologies, and they're changing all the time. So it doesn't mean that you have to wait until you have the final thing to purchase it. You can do it right now, you can build it right now, and you can update it in the future and integrate more new capabilities.
By weeks, not
weeks, of course, weeks, even by days if needed.
Yes.
On that note, we're going to be closing out this session. I want to thank the panelists for their time and their great contribution.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.